but it's, again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Hey guys, I just love that intro. So Grady Judd has a presser out, so I thought I would share it with you guys. I just think this guy is the best thing since sliced bread, I tell you what. Okay, so he has got 2 separate arrests. Two, it says.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with me today. And yesterday we had a great press conference and talking about putting a lot of bad guys in jail who were selling fentanyl, and we know we saved people's lives by taking that much fentanyl off of the street and holding those people accountable. But we also were protecting lives in these operations, and I wanted to highlight a series of arrests that we've made of people in a position of public trust. Now, the community is always supposed to be able to trust school teachers, nurses, doctors, law enforcement officers to do the right thing under every circumstance, ministers, people taking care of other people's children. So here's how the new year greeted us. I want to introduce you to Brian Adams. He's 33 years of age. He is a high school teacher, or was at Kathleen High School.
Hey there, old farm
where he
show.
taught math
Good to
and
see you.
geometry.
Dandy Mexi.
He
Hello,
had an
hello.
aide that was in high school, and this aide was invited to come live with Brandon and his wife. And Brandon engaged in consensual sex with this young lady while she was a student and he was a teacher. He was also the varsity basketball coach. Superintendent Hyde has clearly shown his frustration and his disgust with his arrest, but the reality of it is, once again, we've got a school teacher in a position of authority over a student.
Brutal.
And is engaged in sex with a student. We are doing everything we can to provide services for the young lady, and certainly Brandon Adams will be held accountable. He was booked in the jail and has been released. Well, on the very same day, we were working an investigation, and we caused the arrest of Richard Shaw, who's 69 in Riverton, Wyoming.
Wow.
Richard Shaw, on January the 4th, was taken into custody by the authorities there, working with us. He is a worship leader at a church, and he's also the children's leader. The name of the church is Under Command Ministries, and he's charged with 2 counts of lewd molestation on a child under 12 years of age. He had been here in Polk County over the Christmas holidays. In fact, had spent 9 days here, and while here, molested a very young child. We started this investigation, and we've discovered at least one other person that in the past history he has molested as a child. The Fremont County authorities are currently screening and asking for anyone else who may be a victim of this person or their parents to come forward. He apparently has been in ministry, in children's ministry or youth ministry at several churches in the Wyoming area. But he's under arrest and in custody in Riverton, Wyoming, and he'll be extradited here. And certainly we anticipate that he's going to face charges in Wyoming as well. When asked during the course of the investigation, should we trust you with a child? He said, no, I wouldn't. This guy is an evil person. Anyone that would lay their hands on very young children. He is a pedophile. He is a child predator.
Predator.
He is very dangerous. And we have him locked up where he cannot hurt children.
Keep him there now. Just
So
keep
that was
him there,
January the
mister.
4th. Fresh back
I
from
love Grady Judd.
Christmas and New Year's holidays. And we go, well, what else can happen? Well, here's what else can happen. This is Skylar Reddy. He's 20 years of age. He's from Fort Meade. He's the Frostproof juvenile baseball coach, or he was.
So
He
this
is
is
not a
3,
teacher
not
of the
2.
school at the school. However, he was in a dating relationship with a student at Frostproof High School when he was a student there. Now, as I understand that he's a basketball player, or was, for Warner University, that's what I'm told. And he's also the juvenile basketball coach, or was, at Frostproof. Well, he continued to communicate with a student at Frostproof High School. And during some of the written communications, he suggested that they continue to have sex, and in fact sent a threatening letter to her if she was in a relationship with anyone else.
Wow.
He has been arrested and he's bonded out of jail. He is also in an authority position at the school, even though not long ago he was a student with this person and dating this person. He's now in a position of authority at the school and is continuing
does
on
that
with
happen?
some outrageous communications and even a threatening communication. So he's been arrested. I want to make it abundantly clear. The school board probably employs 13,000 people. Those school teachers are my heroes. They go to school every day to teach our young people the right way to behave.
Mm-hmm.
And also they give them the education opportunities so that they can grow. Our teachers are wonderful, wonderful people. But let me underscore, we are not ever going to allow what I call rogue individuals, very small numbers of rogue individuals out of a total of 13,000 wonderful teachers to do such things.
What a pig.
And then it is beyond my comprehension how a 69-year-old man who is supposed to be a Christian and a leader in the church and a leader of children and a leader of people is molesting children, young children, less than 12 years of age. We will, in every instance, hold these people accountable, and
Good.
we will work with the state attorney's office to ensure that they don't have access to children and are they're held accountable because of their leadership role or their authority role.
Isn't it though?
And at the same time, use that authority role inappropriately and outrageously. Is there any questions?
Sheriff, you mentioned these
How
people that are in positions
sick.
of power. Can you just talk about the importance of these victims, speaking out and kind of putting that power? Yeah.
We're only 10 days into the new
remarkable
year.
to me that we receive total cooperation from the victims and from their families in every case. And I am grateful for that. But when we take positions of power and or authority, then what we as society do is trust our children, our grandchildren into their hands to teach them the right way, to coach them the right way, to do the right thing. That's an awesome responsibility. It's a remarkable responsibility. And legally, they have the responsibility to
Best
always
cop out
do
there.
what's right when it comes to students under their care or children in church under their care. That didn't happen in these cases. I want you to make sure that you always have clear lines of communications with your children so that if anyone is inappropriately touching them or grooming them, that they feel comfortable to speak with you so that you can report them to us.
Yeah.
And I'll promise you, my detectives who work in my unit, my SUV unit, our SVU unit will absolutely hold those folks accountable.
Good.
They are the best at what they do. They know how to interact and make great cases, even when the children are very, very young. We send them to the best training to make sure that our detectives can build the best case with the state attorney's office so that we can protect the children. We will always, always consider protecting children as our number one priority here at the sheriff's office. Children are young, they're innocent, they should be safe from those that want to prey upon them. And we're going to ensure that occurs. And we also know that the parents have been great about working with us because parents want their children to be safe as well.
Yes.
Now,
Amen.
some of these issues that we talked about today, it was consensual, but you can't have consensual relations with a school teacher or with an authority figure. It is against the law for the teacher to do that with students.
Yes, yes.
And I would argue to you, when children are of young age, they don't understand the full consequences. And when they're groomed or they're enamored with someone in an authority figure because they think this is a really cool person and I want to be really nice or friendly or engaged with them, that's just totally inappropriate on the teacher's part, regardless of the thought processes of the child. So be ready. We've always got a room at the county jail for those that want to mess with children.
I love him.
In regard to Mr. Shaw's case, and I understand, the sensitivity because the victim is a minor. Can you say if that incident occurred at a church here or like a business here in town?
Sure. I think it's important to point out with Mr. Shaw that for me to give graphic details that we know about may help identify the child, which we don't want to do. So we would rather not say where he was. But I can tell you that if he was here with your child in that 9-day period or any other time in the past, we should know about that if anything inappropriate has happened. And how will we find out? If you have a conversation with your child that may have been around him. He admitted that children weren't safe around him.
In terms of Reddy's case, can you provide a little bit more information about how the information became known? Like, who did the victim, disclose the information to, and how, or anything like that?
Well, there were text messages that we became aware of, and that's how the investigation started. And during the text message, there was, among other things, a written threat. And quite frankly, that's how we came to know about it. Now, obviously, we're not going to disclose who we heard that from, but we have the text messages and we have a confession that, yeah, this occurred. And this guy who was a student at Warner was a former friend during high school, but he didn't recognize that his role had changed when he became an instructor, assistant basketball coach at the high school.
Do you know how long that relationship went on for when it started?
I do, but we're probably not going to talk about that today. Okay?
Lock
Thank
him
y'all very
up.
much. Take care. Have a good day.
Lock him up. Okay, guys, I've got food on the way, but I did want to share that with you. Always good to have a little Sheriff Grady Judd in your life. He's one of the good guys, that's for sure. So, okay, guys, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.